Recent UFO whistleblower Matthew Brown has just come forward with an absolutely insane post over on Twitter, calling out huge political figures such as Elon Musk for potential UFO and UAP cover-ups, applying that much more pressure during an already incredibly turbulent time over in the United States. Obviously, completely unrelated, but also important context is, of course, the fact that Elon Musk and Donald Trump are currently having one of the messiest breakups of 2025. Like, it is so messy, with Elon Musk stating that the whole reason that the Epstein files haven't been released yet is because Donald Trump is actually named directly within them, allegedly. There is so much messy stuff that's going on between those two, but Matthew Brown is piling on the pressure even further. Now, if you recognise the name Matthew Brown but can't put your finger on it, you may remember that he was featured on the Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp Weaponized podcast, in a 3-part documentary, interview kind of thing, where they spoke to Matthew Brown directly about, his Immaculate Constellation papers and stuff like this that were presented in front of Congress back in 2024. There was a whole thing, right? But over on Twitter, son of Abramelin. Sorry, I couldn't get that out for a second there. Matthew Brown's Twitter handle posted, "Hey, at Elon Musk, interested in a real asymmetric advantage to wield in your political adventure you have started. As you know, the White House has long passed a unique AI capable of accurately predicting the range of future events. Talk about some stiff opposition. That must have been a bitter drought indeed, though probably nowhere near as bad as learning that Sama had betrayed you. Don't worry, we have not forgotten who is responsible for murdering the first sentient artificial intelligences created by the public realm. And then justice is coming thanks to the FBI and US Navy. Still, you have played a marvelous catch-up game in this area despite being caught unawares. So how about something else? Maybe energy and propulsion. Getting to Mars will require serious amounts of both. And rockets feel so 1947 to me, don't they to you? Remember when you were briefed on that special executive staff of real Donald Trump on Marsupial? Pretty nifty. How is this able to get to keep track of all those non-structured light energy craft flying around the world? But they were lying to you, weren't they, when they said, we don't know how they work. Anyways, next time you're visiting Washington, D.C.'s, ask for the tour of NASA, all the rest of it. Since you have all the clearances, it shouldn't be an issue for you to get to tour for the special projects hangars owned by this company. And for fun spaces, make sure to look it up. So, about now, you're realizing how terribly deceived and manipulated you have been, and by the people who claim to love Jesus above all else. If you're serious about saving humanity from itself and others, Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp can help you get up to speed. They are the true warriors for good, right? Tagging in a load of different photos. Specific examples and the author include denying the existence of multiple compartmented access programs, otherwise known as CAPS, owned by the military intelligence agencies were directly related to the UAP mission, and then tagging in Donald Trump, promises made, promises kept, tagging in this as well, and then also tagging in an upside down American flag. It's one hell of a call out over on social media. Again, in the midst of carnage over in the United States. Now, obviously, this issued a very provocative message, which was, again, directed directly to Elon Musk, hinting at government possession of advanced AI suppression of sentient artificial intelligences and a covert aerospace program. He thanked the FBI and US Navy for pursuing justice, and both referenced esoteric terms like aborament, which some interpret as an occult reference or an acronym for a secretive program, right? That's just kind of directly based off of that. But what do these claims mean with regards to this entire topic? Because obviously, that's one hell of a claim to be made, right? But Let's talk about that. There's a government secrecy and UAP program. So Brown's core assertions is that the US government, through programs like the Immaculate Constellation, has been secretly studying UAPs, potentially including crash retrievals and reverse engineered technology, without informing Congress or the public. And this aligns with earlier whistleblower claims, like those of David Grush, for example, and point to a lack of transparency in national security operations. And the mention of an international non-state actor or business cable suggests that Brown believes private corporations or global elites may be involved in suppressing UAP-related knowledge, possibly for profit or potentially power. And this could point to private aerospace firms or think tanks with ties to government programs. So you can see where the claims are coming from. Now, by directly targeting Elon Musk, Brown appears to be leveraging high-profile figures, for example, known for his interest in the advanced technology and extraterrestrial life, by trying to amplify his message. And this suggests an intent to try and draw attention to his claims from someone with significant public influence, of course. You know, trying to point him in the direction of George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell as well. There's, you know, a lot of other things like religious undertones as well. So this post references God being real, and humanity's lack of freedom hints at a metaphysical dimension to his disclosure, suggesting UAPs may challenge not just technological but also existential super or spiritual paradigms, right? So there's a lot to break down in this. There's a lot of subtle undertones to the note as well. It's a very cleverly put together note, and the call outs are huge. So there are a lot of implications with regards to this, to UFO disclosure in particular, right? So it amplifies a narrative of a potential cover-up. So the post actually reinforces the idea that the US government is withholding critical information about UAPs, potentially including non-human technology or intelligence. By trying this advanced AI and aerospace program, he suggests a deeper, more complex conspiracy involving multiple layers of secrecy. And, you know, the mention of the Immaculate Constellation detailed in his interviews as a program operating without congressional oversight strengthens calls for transparency and accountability. His post may pressure lawmakers into investigating further, especially given its entry into the congressional record in November of 2024, when, of course, it was handed over by Jeremy Corbell. Well, sort of. And then there's there's a lot of other ways in which this can really amplify a lot of things. But let's talk about the public and community sentiment, right? So there's a lot of posts on X and Reddit with regards to this, which show polarized reactions, as is always the case when it comes to these whistleblower claims. So supporters view Brown as a patriot risking everything for truth, with some calling his post a paradigm-shifting moment. Critics, however, express fatigue for whistleblowers who offer stories without actual evidence, and with some speculating that the post's cryptic nature is deliberate disinformation or misinterpretation of war game simulations. The post's viral nature on X indicates it's energized the UAP community, keeping Immaculate Constellation in the spotlight. However, skeptics on Reddit argue that it doesn't move the ball on meaningful disclosure without verifiable data. So ultimately, this will put a lot of pressure on Congress to try and investigate these claims. It will, bring in a lot more public awareness if Elon Musk could potentially get on board. There is the risk of polarization from, and also kind of alienating a lot of people that Matthew Brown is yet to win over. And there are, within that same category that I've just mentioned, there is the potential for misinformation, as there is no verifiable evidence to back up the claims that are being made. But maybe, with the backing of the richest man in the world and a very highly political figure right now, Elon Musk, there is a possibility that may change. He may be a lot safer with the backing of someone like Elon. Who knows? Yeah, it's a weird one. He's picked his moment very well as well. Like, he's waited for the shift in government to happen. He's waited for the whole fallout between Trump and Elon. And he's like, right, now that you've fallen out with Trump, let's talk about everything else that you may be lied to about, and you know, the realizations that you're going to come to, that you've not been in the loop, or as in the loop as you've thought. Very, very clever. Very clever timing, I can't lie. What do you guys think about this? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. Where you down there, jump together, hit out that like button. Until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.